Hello everybody, my name is Dringer. I want to welcome you to another figure review. This time we are going to be taking a look at TMS 012 Incinerator Stormtrooper. It's not going to be anything special about this figure review this time around. We are going to go straight into the box, take a look at the figure and his articulation and all of his accessories, and then we'll finally do his poses. With that being said, let's go ahead and dive right into this. Taking a closer look at the box, we can see that there is a little bit of a damage issue to the box itself, but worry not, there is no damage to the figure. I did buy this figure used, but it's practically brand new. So other than that, we can take a look at the box art, and we can see that side Hot Toys had actually decided to add a few poses on the box that we could possibly strike with him. For reference pictures, I'd say. I keep getting asked, why did I choose the Incinerator Stormtrooper over the regular Stormtrooper or the Artillery Stormtrooper? In my honest opinion, I think it's because I believe this figure is more eye-appealing. He's gonna look better in my collection. With the red and the flame effects, I think it looks great. So I'm really excited to have this figure on my shelf. The box art, of course, that comes inside looks amazing, as always. Possibly a pose that I will be putting on my shelf with. And with that being said, let's go ahead and get the Stormtrooper out of the box. We can take a closer look at all of his accessories and the Trooper himself. Alrighty, now that we have the figure out of the box, we can finally take a closer look at him and all of his articulation. Before we look at that, I want to note a few things. Yes, he is battle damaged. You can notice it on his legs and on his chest and shoulder pieces, his arms. It's everywhere. It's not that noticeable, but in my honest opinion, I rather like the dirty look. It gives him experience. And it gives a kind of a realism look to it. Another thing I did rather like about this figure is that his lens are green. So on his helmet, his green lens. It's kind of hard to see, but when you see it, it's really noticeable. I rather like that. Before we get into the articulation, I do want to mention that he is wearing an undersuit, so it's going to hinder the articulation quite a bit. The same with all the armor pieces. I think the armor pieces are going to hinder it just a little bit, but pieces like this, where it's the shoulder, it has like a strap to it. It's not like connected to it like some of these pieces are. So you can always move it around if you want. Alrighty, so starting with the articulation, we're going to start with the head. That's him looking down. It's him looking up. Once again, it's him looking down. Him looking up. Not big, but that's okay. Let's go ahead and look at his arms. One thing I want to note is that the shoulder pad doesn't really hinder the articulation too much against the other arm. Like, they both can go up pretty much the same amount. Yes, you can put this one up just a little bit more. That's only because he has the elbow bend to help out. So yes, it is a little bit different. That being said, we can look at the elbows. And his armor does have like a slit to where it helps it bend. So if you want to bend it that way, you can. I did want to mention, yes, his hands fall off really easily. I don't know why, but this is like my 6th take where his hands have fallen off. So be mindful when it comes to changing out hands and moving them around, that they're going to probably fall off. That's pretty common when it comes to Hot Toys figures, isn't it? So his ab crunch, just like any other figure, has it. But it's not quite there because of the armor. But it's there. His thighs are the foam padded ones. So there's a little bit of a cushioning to it. He has his leg articulation, which also isn't that great. Like, that's how far apart they can go. Doing the splits, being mindful of the seam at the bottom, as far as he can go. Once again, be careful of the seam at the bottom. It's very tight. Alrighty, then we can look at the knee. Both knees are the same. I think that's actually a pretty good, knee articulation. But I don't think we're going to use it that much. And finally, we have the leg or foot articulation, which I do believe his boots are pleather. I'm not too sure. They feel like pleather and they look like pleather, but they could be something else. If you guys know, let me know in the comments. His foot articulation is actually really good. Bends quite a bit. Move it around and whatnot. Alrighty. And with that out of the way, we can finally take a look at all of his accessories. Alrighty, now we can finally take a closer look at all of his accessories. Starting off, I want to say he did come with buttons. He came with silver buttons instead of black ones. I think they should have made them black because it's about the only ones I can locate on his shoulder pad. He also did come with an extra set of wrist pegs in case you break these ones. We'll get into the flamethrower stuff in just a minute, but I want to show you guys how to properly put it together. So for now, let's take a look at the hands. He does come with one right trigger hand. And then he comes with a left trigger hand. And then he comes with a left relaxed hand. And then he comes with a right relaxed hand. And he does come with one, like, full force open hand. Not sure what I'm going to use this one for, but we'll figure it out. And then, of course, he does come with right and left fist hands. Maybe you could throw one up into the air and have him cheering for the Empire. I almost said Republic, but it's the Empire. All right, we can take a look at his display base. This one's a bit different from all the other ones that we've taken a look at so far. For instance, this one, you can actually put the peg anywhere you would like on this display stand. I say anywhere, but I really mean any one of these lines. You can't put it in the middle. I don't think it will fit that well. You could try, but like I said, it won't fit that well. With that being said, I actually really like this display. Do I wish it was a different grabber? Yes. But do I like the grain and the look of it? Yes. So that's why I'm saying I don't really mind this display. Even though it's probably a basic one, and a lot of figures probably come with this one, I like it. It's not so boring like the other ones. It is a bit difficult to put it back on, though. Alrighty, we're going to take a closer look at all the flamethrower parts all to themselves, and then we're finally going to connect it together. So starting off, we're going to start with the backpack. Having the knobs on the top makes this the right way it's facing. Having two big gas tanks is really cool. Having the Empire insignia on it is really cool. Be mindful of the straps. They could tear and break, so you just gotta be careful when posing. It does come with a buckle. Just like any other buckle, you push it in. To unlock it, you have to push both prongs. But we'll put that together once we get it on the figure. But before that, let's go ahead and take a look at the rest. His backpack, of course, has to have an extension to the gun, the cable. This is where you connect to the backpack. This is where you connect to the gun. And then we have the flame effect. I actually really like how this looks with the blue and then it goes into orange and whatnot. Looks really good. My only downside to this is it's not glowing. If they could get things like this to glow, I think Hot Toys, you're going to be on top. If you're not already. With that being said, we look at the flamethrower itself. Great addition to the Star Wars armory. Two nozzles for the gas. That's where it shoots out all the fuel. That's where you connect the cable right there. Alright, now that we got all the flamethrower parts looked at, we're going to put it together. So starting off the backpack, you want to take a look at these two holes right here. That's where you're going to want to connect this end, the double end. Let's go ahead and get this one in there. And then this one in there. Then you got them both in. Take it around. It'll go around the trooper like that. Take the gun. Put it right on. Alrighty. That being said, that is how you put the gun together. A flamethrower, I should say. That's how you put the flamethrower together. Alrighty. From what you guys are going to see next, he's going to have the flamethrower on his back. We're going to start his poses. And then that will be it for our video. Alrighty, so this is going to be pose number 1. Pretty basic. Just standing straight with his gun. I wish the cable wasn't so long because it just sticks out like a sore thumb. But what can you do about it? Flamethrower looks good in hand. I noticed also putting the flamethrower in hand and putting it in position, his hand falls off a lot. So good luck with that. I overall like this pose though. We'll go on to pose number 2. Alrighty, so before we get into pose number 2, I do want to mention something. I want you guys to know what I have to go through whenever I have to reposition him. His hand, his trigger hand that he has on his gun, falls off incredibly easy. So, that's a forewarning. If you ever try to pose this figure, understand the struggle. But this is going to be pose number 2. This is going to be the one that I'm going to put him on my shelf. Pretty basic. But we are going to do a couple more. Okay, so for his third pose, I kind of wanted to show off a little bit of his shoulder articulation. I did like he threw up his fist and he's like, "For the Empire," you know, type deal. But I like this one. If you like it, make sure you hit that like button. Alrighty, before we get into pose number 4, I do want to let you guys know I did attempt to get him into the crouch position for his next pose, but I just could not do it. His knee bend was there, his ankle bend was there, but his hip bend wasn't there. I couldn't make him do that pattern where he crosses his legs to crouch. Otherwise, he would have been just facing straight back. So, for his 4th pose, we have him with his flame effect. And I do want to note that this is a resculpt of other flame effects that they've done in the past. I do like it though. And it goes well with the trooper. Alrighty. Alrighty, everybody. that is going to be it for the Incinerator Trooper. I want to thank you so much for joining me for this video, for this next review. Stay tuned for Boba Fett. And who knows for the future. My name is Dringer. Make sure you leave a like and a subscribe. And I'll see you in the next video.